We're all probably familiar with the concept of zero trust architecture to some degree by now. NIST defines zero trust as a cybersecurity paradigm focused on resource protection and the premise that trust is never granted implicitly but must be continually evaluated. They go on to say that the goal is to prevent unauthorized access to data services coupled with making access control enforcement as granular as possible. Zero trust may seem like a relatively new concept, but in reality, it isn't. For example, there was the Jericho Forum, which was an international group working to define and promote deperimeterization back in 2004. In 2007, they published the Jericho Forum Commandments. Back then, they stated deperimeterization has happened, is happening, and is inevitable. Central protection is decreasing in effectiveness, and it will happen in your corporate lifetime. 16 years later, the 11 Jericho Forum Foundation Commandments are still ringing true. The Jericho Forum weren't the only ones on the case. Around the same time, the US Department of Defense published their work on more secure enterprise strategy dubbed Black Core. Now, Black Core involved moving from a perimeter-based security model to one that focused on security of individual transactions. The concepts of deperimeterization evolved and improved into the larger concept of zero trust, which was coined by John Kindervag while at Forrester. Zero trust then became the term used to describe the various cybersecurity solutions that move security away from implied trust based on a network location and instead focused on evaluating trust on a per-transaction basis. Yet with all that history, last year Gartner unveiled their top 8 cybersecurity predictions for 2022 to 2023, and they said 60% of organizations will embrace zero trust as a starting point for security by 2025, but more than half will fail to realize the benefits. Some of those missed benefits will include the use of contextual trust algorithms. So what's a contextual trust algorithm? Well, for example, someone in HR who accesses 25 employee records a day is now trying to gain access to over 100 records. A contextual trust algorithm might send out an alert in that scenario. But if this was happening after hours, it could be an attacker exfiltrating records, and the algorithm would pick up on that and take the appropriate action. Or someone from the finance team who typically works business hours in the office 9 to 5, but is trying to access the system at 1 a.m. from an unknown location. Again, a contextual trust algorithm might require the subject to jump through some more verification hoops while sending out an alert. Of course, putting together a set of criteria or threshold values for each resource is going to require some planning and testing. But they do offer more dynamic and granular access, and they will adapt to changing circumstances far more quickly than any other approaches. Looking to detect new behaviors over single events would certainly strengthen your security posture. It would also increase the speed of detection overall. When it comes down to it all, what you're trying to do is squeeze down your mean time to detect and your mean time to respond. Once again, if you have any questions you want answered, please feel free to post a comment or get in touch with us, and we'll try and make it a subject of a later episode. Thanks for watching.